What if the gates of the Greek underworld didn't open for heroes or monsters, but for you? Picture yourself at the threshold, not just crossing into another world, but into a realm sculpted by memory, regret, and fate. In this shadowland, rivers don't simply divide life from death. They erase names, carry sorrow, and whisper regrets the living never dared to speak aloud. Here, every memory lost to Lethe drifts in the dark, swirling among faceless souls who have forgotten their own stories. Judges wait in the gloom, weighing not only what you did, but every secret, every wound you have carried beneath your skin. Are you ready to step into a world no mortal was ever meant to witness? A world where punishment and love, loss and justice blur into a single haunting truth. Your journey begins at the water's edge. Here, the rivers choose what you will remember and what you must leave behind. Here, the underworld story is written in water. The Greeks imagined 3 rivers winding through the gloom, each one shaping the fate of every soul. These rivers, Lethe, Acheron, and Cocytus, are not mere boundaries. They are forces that decide what follows after the final breath. Lethe, the river of forgetfulness, draws souls with its quiet promise. In Homeric tradition and Orphic lore, the dead drink from its waters to erase memories of their earthly lives. Faces, names, every joy and sorrow all slip away, leaving only a blank spirit. Some see this as mercy, a way to move on without regret. But Lethe's gift is total. It takes not only pain, but the very thread of identity. On its banks, spirits drift in a hush, no longer haunted by the past, but no longer themselves. Not far off, Acheron waits, the river of woe. Its waters are thick and gray, churning with sorrow. Charon, the silent ferryman, guides souls across, demanding a coin for passage. Here, the pain of life lingers. Sisyphus, punished for cheating death, stumbles endlessly, his burden growing heavier with each failed attempt to escape his fate. The Danaides, condemned for their crimes, fill leaky jars in a ritual that never ends. Their labor echoes the hopelessness that Acheron carries. The river does not let sorrow fade. It presses it deeper, making each crossing a trial. Deeper still, Cocytus coils in the shadows. This is the river of lamentation, where each soul's sorrow echoes in a ceaseless dirge. The air quivers with unspoken apologies, lost hopes, and grief too heavy to release. Here, regret becomes substance. Some souls stand silent, overwhelmed by the chorus of mourning. Others try to speak, but their voices are drowned out by the endless tide of lament. Cocytus is not a place of healing. It is where sorrow finds its true weight. The living once feared these crossings. In hopes of easing the journey, families placed coins in the mouths of the dead, a practice rooted in Homer's Odyssey. It was not a token for luck, but a payment to Charon, the ferryman, to ensure safe passage across the river's gloom. The ritual was a plea for mercy, a hope that memory or sorrow would not swallow the soul whole. Each river carries the dead onward, reshaping them with every step. Forgetfulness, woe, and lamentation are not just trials. They are the underworld's way of remaking those who enter. What remains is no longer the person who once lived, but something changed by water and silence. And yet, the journey does not end at the water's edge. Beyond these rivers, a deeper judgment waits. It is here that the soul faces the 3 judges, whose verdict will decide what eternity truly means. A hush settles as the rivers recede. Before the soul, 3 figures emerge, each one a voice of judgment. each one holding the weight of eternity. Minos, once a mortal king, sits at the center. In Homeric tradition, he became the chief judge after the Trojan War. His task is to hear the final pleas, weighing each life without favor or bribe. His judgments are known for their fairness, but also for the gravity of a king who knows the cost of power. At his side stands Rhadamanthus, keeper of broken oaths. Ancient tales say he is strict and incorruptible, a judge who cannot be swayed by gold or tears. Rhadamanthus listens for injustice, the wrongs that mortal courts left unresolved. Here, those who suffered unfairly in life may finally find balance. His verdicts reflect a hunger for justice denied on earth, and his presence offers the hope of redress to those who were powerless above. Aeacus, guardian of each lost promise, completes the triad. He listens in silence, weighing loyalty and betrayal as if each were a coin pressed into his palm. The Greeks believed that Aeacus judged the souls from Europe, and his decisions often turned on the smallest betrayals or acts of faith. For him, justice is not grand or loud. It is the sum of every bond kept and every trust broken. No gesture escapes his notice. No secret remains hidden. Judgment in the underworld is never simple. Each soul arrives with a story tangled by memory and myth, and the judges must find the truth within the haze. Sisyphus, condemned for deceiving Thanatos and cheating death twice, stands before them. His fate, endless labor beneath the weight of a boulder, was decreed by Zeus, not for cleverness alone, but for breaking the rules that bind gods and mortals. The judges see not just the crime, but the motives, the pride, and the shifting lines between wit and arrogance. Not every case is clear. Orpheus enters, his lyre trembling in his hands, his voice thick with grief. He asks not for himself, but for Eurydice. The judges listen, caught between law and longing. His song carries the ache of every lost love, and for a moment, the rules themselves seem to waver. His music moves even Hades and Persephone, the gods of the dead, to allow Eurydice's return, though the price is steep and the outcome uncertain. In this court, justice is a living thing, shaped by memory, emotion, and the stories mortals leave behind. The scales never rest. Each verdict is a negotiation between law, loss, and the hope for something more. Yet even the judges do not rule alone. Another presence stands near, a queen whose authority both tempers and completes their decisions. Her gaze holds the balance between punishment and mercy, and her voice is the final word in the world below. Beneath the earth, Persephone rules as queen, a figure shaped by myth, law, and the cycles of the world above. Her story is not only one of loss, but of agreement and return. In the Homeric hymn to Demeter, Hades seeks Zeus's permission to wed Persephone. There is no theft, but a pact among gods. When Persephone enters the underworld, she faces a choice. She consumes 6 pomegranate seeds, each one binding her to spend 2/3 of the year below. This act is not a symbol of captivity, but the seal of her role as queen. While Persephone reigns, the world above mourns. Demeter's sorrow withers the fields and chills the air, turning the earth cold and barren. Yet Persephone's time in the underworld is not only a season of absence. She presides over the realm of the dead, sitting beside Hades. Together, they keep order and balance. Hades does not confine her. He maintains the equilibrium of souls, ensuring the world above and below remain in harmony. Their partnership is one of law and necessity, not cruelty. Persephone's presence brings a quiet strength to the shadows. She offers comfort to souls who ache with regret and enforces the laws that hold the underworld together. Some see her as a symbol of hope, a queen who listens, who understands suffering, and who tempers judgment with compassion. When the Danaïdes labor endlessly, or Orpheus pleads for his lost love, Persephone's empathy shapes the justice they receive. Her role is not to erase pain, but to recognize it, to guide souls toward the balance that the living world so often forgets. Above ground, Persephone's return marks the end of winter. As she rises, Demeter's joy awakens the fields, and green life returns. The seasons pulse with her movement, each one a reminder of the world's constant change. Persephone is both the daughter who brings spring and the queen who rules the dead. She stands at the threshold, holding together the cycle of life and loss. Through Persephone's story, the ancient Greeks explained the mystery of renewal and the necessity of darkness. Her reign below is not a tragedy, but a turning point, a place where endings and beginnings meet. She is not simply a figure of myth, but a keeper of the line between sorrow and hope. The underworld's queen reminds us that even in the deepest shadow, change is possible. Her journey shapes the balance between memory and forgetting, punishment and mercy. With every return to the surface, Persephone proves that what is lost can rise again. In the end, her myth is a mirror, reflecting the choices, regrets, and hopes that shape every soul. The underworld of myth stands as both a boundary and a passage. Its rivers and judges shape destinies with every choice. The ancient Greeks crafted these stories to confront what lies beyond. They searched for meaning in the unknown. Sisyphus's endless quest inspired poets to see struggle itself as purpose. Even in the darkest places, persistence becomes its own reward. When you cross your own river, what memory will you carry? Will you reach for memory, mercy, or forgetfulness? Your choice between Lethe's blank slate, Acheron's sorrow, or Cocytus's lamentation defines your mythic fate. And if these echoes moved you, keep the legends alive. Subscribe, share your voice below, and stay with us here in Lore and Legends.